Well, it's time for another evil update. Bad evening, Ministry. In the last few weeks, it's been exhausting trying to keep up with all of the crazy that's been going on. I mean, just simply exhausting. We have the Trumpster fire displaying his stable genius by ruining everyone's days, and he goes back and forth from political stance to political stance like some sort of mutant tennis ball with a troll haircut. It's been an experience watching him work, like sitting on the edge of a black hole and watching it eat your legs. First, he's against taking guns, and then he's all for taking the guns away without any due process. Did you see the faces of the people he was talking to when he said that? I mean, it looked like they had swallowed really hard and found guns in their throat. Then he's against bump stocks. Then he's against doing anything about the bump stocks. Then he's practicing his cue card sympathy with school children. And then he's telling them that no one wants to restrict the buying age. It's absolutely genius. It's been marvelous. It's a masterpiece. It's like watching a schizophrenic gerbil take a ride on the spin cycle in the dryer. But it's about time that he decided that we should have a space force, because there's nothing better than getting into space and ruining the days of aliens. I mean, why keep our day ruining to just planet Earth? But with all that, many of you might have missed the stroke of absolute genius that was recently executed by the Washington state government. See, they passed a stealthy vote to excuse themselves from the state's Public Records Act. And good thing they did that so quickly, too. I mean, who knows what people might have found if they'd started poking around in public records. And we don't want John Q. Public to know what the governments are up to, do we? I mean, if all of these government representatives were under scrutiny, who knows what would be discovered. So, we salute you, Washington state government, especially you people down in Olympia. You know who you are. Terrible job, terrible job. Is that a tuba? I think Bob's playing the tuba again. I think he's done. And now, to address this whole ridiculous walkout nonsense. I've seen some very brave adults scolding children and telling them that they should get back into school. And I just want to say that school is where kids belong. I mean, if they can't expect to get shot in school, where can they expect to get shot? Except the mall, of course, and libraries, and parking lots. Those are good for shootings, yes. And beaches, I suppose. I don't know if I've ever heard of a shooting at a beach, but it seems like it's prime real estate for that sort of thing. And airports. Oh, and let's not forget nightclubs. But I mean, apart from that, it's pretty sparse out there for getting shot. You know, there's not a whole lot of places other than the myriad of places that I've mentioned where people are free to get shot. So stay in school, kiddies. I mean, Ministry, can you imagine what might happen if some of these school children got out and went to protests and maybe became politicians? I mean, they might make real changes in the world, and that would be terrible. And now, my favorite part of this update. I'm going to answer a few of the questions that have been asked by the internet, or rather, on the internet, by the myriad of interneters. I think that's what you call them these days. Here's one. What is life? Well, I mean, that's a pretty tall question, actually. That we might be here a while if I'm expected to answer that. But really, what is a... Is that Bob again? But really, what is life? I suppose it's a never-ending series of opportunities to be absolutely and heartbreakingly disappointed at every turn. Isn't that beautiful? It gets me all verklempt. Oh, here's an interesting one. How do I touch myself at a park? Well, I mean, I would think it would be obvious. You know, you walk into the park and there you are, and then you touch yourself and there you are. I mean, it doesn't really seem difficult, does it? Maybe this person doesn't have any arms or something. F that capitalism, money, systematically monetary dictatorship. I think your first mistake there, whoever you are, was that this isn't a question. Yeah, it's not a question, is it? No. No, it's just it's sort of a statement, really. Yeah. Ah, can humans ever fly? Why, yes. We've successfully launched several humans. A whole gaggle of them, actually, haven't we? I mean, it was a long time ago when we still used ballistas, but, you should see them fly over the walls, into the moats and beyond into the rock walls and the enemy. It's breathtaking. Here's a question. Am I gay? Now, I just want to be clear, Ministry, I'm not asking that question. I know perfectly well whether or not I'm gay, but this person is asking whether or not he's or she's or they are gay, which is really rather an odd question to ask, because I think somewhere you have to know, don't you? But let's just say, for the sake of experimentation, no pun intended, that they are not gay. Let's just tell them that they are. I mean, see what kind of day ruining that might be. Yes, you are gay. You are so gay. You are more gay than even gays are gay. That's how gay you are. And for our final question of the day, is Santa real? Well, he must be, because he just gave me the best present ever, getting to ruin your belief in Santa. Because no, he's not real, you dumbwit. Well, normally I would say we should check in with the Trumpster and see a few of the crazy things he's been saying. But, I mean, honestly, Ministry, he is doing so many crazy things so often that it's impossible to keep up. I mean, you have to have people 24 hours a day on the little tweeter thing, trying to catch everything he says. And even then we miss 3/4 of it. I mean, it's just insane. How can anyone be expected to keep up with this? It exhausts me. It does. It really does. Sometimes in my heart of hearts, I sort of wonder if I made a mistake putting him out there. Maybe he wasn't ready to leave the nest yet. Maybe it was just too soon for someone with his caliber of genius. Maybe. It could be, Stranger things have happened. There's Bob with the tuba again. All right, well, I'm going to go and put Bob out of my misery, and we will catch you again soon. So until then, Ministry members, remember, keep Seattle sinister.